Welcome back to part 2 of 9 elements of highly rewatchable TV shows. Let's jump straight into the action.
I'm Stephen John Drew from the official GonnaGeek.com show, a weekly geek news podcast that is a part of the Gonna Geek network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
Welcome back, guys. My name is Josh. In part 1 of this 3-part series, we covered stakes, development, and respecting core characters, / not forgetting about core characters. So go back and check out part 1 if you haven't done so. But today we're covering another 3 elements that we've highlighted as being essential for highly rewatchable TV shows. And if you just want to keep going with today's episode and you'll check out part 1 later, we're using 2018's Lost in Space, which I think is on Netflix worldwide, at least it is in Australia. We're using that as the example of a show that maybe isn't the greatest show ever, but has unexpectedly high rewatch value, at least in my opinion. So I did say right at the start of the episode, we're going to jump straight in, and that's what we're going to do. Our 4th element is the show needs an emotional center point or set point character, and generally this character needs to be an actor's actor. Someone who can elevate the performance, the verisimilitude, and the memorability of the show and the cast and the production. So in the case of Lost in Space, I think it's John Robinson, who was portrayed by Toby Stephens. He really is incredible through this entire show. Not only is his performance among the actors on the show probably the best overall and the most consistent, his character also has the majority of the emotional gravity in the show, and that's the thing in which all the family turmoil and the narrative flows into and collides with, meaning that Stephens' character has to be great in so many of the most important and dramatic scenes in this show. There wasn't any taking a seat off for Toby Stephens when playing John Robinson. So highly rewatchable shows need that emotional set point. A character through which the drama travels, but the actor is of a quality that they elevate everything around them, and none of those important scenes, the pivotal scenes, are so-so, because that person is there. If they weren't great, the whole thing wouldn't be so great. And I would say also that the character of Mac in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. became the emotional set point of S.H.I.E.L.D. An incredible versatile actor, fully embedded in that character and elevating everyone and everything around them. So number 5, our 5th element. The show needs comic relief, but not at the expense of drama, emotion, and suspense. You don't want every scene being ruined by a stupid joke. Or it's dramatic, but we can't quite handle the drama, it's awkward, so someone has to try to be funny. In Lost in Space, it's Don West. He's a really interesting and likable character, and just when you think, oh God, he's slipping into being a little bit despicable again, just has a believable hero moment, but also delivers some really, really funny stuff at the right time. That part they really nailed. And I think it's important for a rewatchable show that the funny person is believable funny, but not funny at the wrong times where it kills the drama of the show. And our 6th element for what makes for highly rewatchable television, the show needs a brilliant yet despicable character in the core group. So I'll attach audio of a previous podcast to the end of today's episode. I've covered this a little bit more in depth in the past, but Lost in Space benefited massively, although it was very hard to watch so much of the time. It was so uncomfortable. Dr. Smith, brilliant character, brilliantly portrayed by Parker Posey, and a really fascinating character to love and hate and cheer for and then cheer again, sometimes in the same 5 minutes of the show. Like, yes, Dr. Smith is turning, and then, oh God, they've turned all the way back around. So I think the show needs a brilliant yet despicable character in the core group. And they don't always have to be the same kind of despicable character where they can't be trusted. It could be more like a Leopold Fitz, once again using Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as an example, where there's a darkness inside that character that when it pokes its head up, it can be pretty intense and pretty scary. You find yourself thinking, oh my God, that was in there. That is inside that person and will always be there. That's intense. Righto, guys. We've now done 6 of the 9 elements. Let me know what you're thinking at Joshua C. Liston in all the places online. My email's in the show notes. Make sure you check out the Gunna Geek Network. Some really good stuff happening there, particularly the official Gunna Geek show's been really interesting lately. Once again, at Joshua C. Liston in all the places online. I can't wait to speak to you again soon, and bye for now. Hey guys, question. Who's your favourite entirely unlikable character, but one that you know is brilliant and irreplaceable in the narrative of a television show that you personally love? Now, I've got 2. The first time I remember loving a character that's really actually not very likable was Gaius Baltar in Battlestar Galactica 2003. But more recently, and the reason I'm producing this episode today, is I wanted to talk quickly, just a few seconds, on Dr. Smith from the 2018 reboot of Lost in Space. Dr. Smith, portrayed by Parker Posey, makes you want to pull your hair out every time you watch this show. High rewatch value in terms of a character on the show. Smith is so self-centered and so manipulative, it just makes you want to squeeze the remote in anger. Yet, at least for me, it's impossible not to want Smith's character in the mix in every storyline. Is there such a thing as a positive destructive force? Or an accidentally positive destructive force? Because that is what Smith's character is. Dr. Smith, Parker Posey, Hall of Fame, unlikable character. I'm putting it out there.